Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another review. I'm still a bit sick. Like I was kind of 50-50 on if I was going to stream today, so I'll probably keep it a bit short. Still getting over a cold and like coughing every time I speak, basically. But since I didn't stream after the Madrid game, I did want to try to get a video out there. Basically for Madrid, I really like was not planning on having a ticket at all, and I just went there, filmed some stuff for Chelsea TV, which you can see on my YouTube channel, and then I ended up getting a ticket last minute, thanks to one of my friends on Twitter. So I was very happy about that despite us losing. So I got home super late and just could not record anything, and I brought my camera with me and didn't bring the piece to like record, so I couldn't record anything either. So that was like a little bit of a fail on my part. But um, now we talk about Chelsea versus Brighton. And I'm honestly getting at a loss of words. Like I don't know what to even say at this point. It's just like so freaking sad. Like I'm worried, you guys. Like I'm worried. I'm sad. It was another poor performance. Brighton absolutely deserved the win. I don't think that anybody can say otherwise. And it's just really depressing. So let's get into it. Okay. I share my screen here. Yeah. So first off, taking a look at the starting 11, I just don't understand it. Kepa in goal, then a back four of Ben Chilwell, Badiashile, Wesley Fofana, Trevor Chalobah, Dennis Zakaria, Enzo, Mikhailo Mudryk, Conor Gallagher, Christian Pulisic, and Raheem Sterling. I just feel that we are chopping and changing the starting 11 so much. Like Ben Chilwell, yes, makes sense. He's now suspended versus Madrid. I also like understood maybe Chalobah coming in because Reece James really did not have a good game versus Madrid. Like I absolutely hate saying that because he's one of my favorite players, but he just looks like a bit scared that he's going to get injured again. And from what I could see versus Madrid, he would just like wasn't as dynamic as he usually is. He wasn't making runs. He was kind of like jogging or just like in a spot. He lost out constantly to Vinicius Jr. as well. So I kind of thought, okay, maybe it makes sense like resting him. But I feel that we're playing so many different formations. Like it's just impossible for the team to be able to perform well in any of them. Like I really do feel that we need to just pick one formation and kind of stick with it. And for me, that formation is 3/5 at the back. I feel like that's where we've looked like the best over the last couple of years, not even this season. And I just wouldn't tinker with it so much. So the commentator on my stream made a good point. He said like Chelsea are constantly looking forward to the next game. They're looking forward, that they're like not that they're not preparing, but that they're not like, playing their best out and out team for this game, and that's costing them as well. And it's a really hard balance to strike, but I just didn't quite understand this starting 11. And the thing is as well, like I think that there's just so much uncertainty over which players are going to stay at Chelsea and which players are going to leave the club this summer. Because in my opinion, I would say, okay, you shouldn't play players that are going to be gone in 2 months. And for example, I know Christian Pulisic's name has been thrown around there. I know Hakim Ziyech was literally meant to be playing for PSG at the moment. Aubameyang making the bench, and I don't think is going to stay at Chelsea past this season. Mason Mount coming on in the 74th minute, it just felt like too little too late. I have no idea what's going on with Mason Mount. I really did think under Frank Lampard he would at least be getting more minutes than he has been, and it's just like so odd to me. But at least people can't say it's his fault now because he hasn't been playing. But and Zachariah as well, like he's another one. Like I don't think that he's going to be staying at Chelsea past this season. And he hasn't started since January. And you just throw him into the deep end with one of arguably like the best midfields in the league and how they were pressing. Like I just thought that Brighton were so strong. And Raheem Sterling starting him, he hasn't been playing well either. I mean, no one really has been playing especially well, but I don't know. I just felt like the team selection, the substitutions were questionable in my opinion. Constantly changing between different formations isn't going to be helpful for the players. I think it just makes it confusing, just makes us disjointed. Like I said, I honestly felt that Brighton deserved to win this game. And even when we scored, like it was really quite a bit of luck for the deflection for Conor Gallagher's shot. You just felt that Brighton were going to get an equalizer and probably go on to win the game because they were so dominant. So just going to take a look at some stats here. So Brighton had 58% possession. Honestly, I think at one point they had like 70%. What is the difference between these two? What is this? Why are there two? Does anybody know what the difference is between this one and this one? But anyways, I'm just going to go off of the first one. So Chelsea expected goals of 0.6 and Brighton 2.28. Honestly, I felt that they, like, even in just the first half, they could have scored like 5. And look at this. This is just insane. Total shots, 8. We had 2 shots on target to their 26, and they had 10 shots on target, 10 shots off target, 6 blocked shots, 8 corner kicks to our 2. Like they're just completely dominant. Big chances, 5. Big chances missed, 5. Hit the woodwork twice. Kepa had 9 saves in that match as well. Just truly insane. Like such a dominant performance from them. I saw a lot of people saying that like the second goal Kepa could have prevented. Honestly, it was just a worldie. I did see some people on Twitter saying, well, like Kepa's on the shorter side, so teams are just going to like keep popping shots, like long shots, because then they're guaranteed to like get it in the top bin eventually. I don't know how true that is. But just super frustrating. And then let's take a look at the players' average positions. So Modric operating this space, you see Raheem Sterling and Christian Pulisic kind of operating very similar spaces. Enzo playing slightly farther behind as well here. And this is just like so shocking. So you have Chalobah, Fofana, and Zachariah operating like very similar area. Like our midfield, there's just like this massive gap here. And you saw that Brighton were really exposing this. I felt that Matoma was really getting the best out of Chalobah down this right hand, like their left-hand side, our right-hand side. Time and time again, you just saw Matoma. I mean, he's brilliant. Zooming past Chalobah, pinging the ball. McAllister had like a couple of really good opportunities in this game. And for their, I think it was their first goal. There was just a miscommunication between Trevor Chalobah and Wesley Fofana, and then who scored? Danny Welbeck could just take advantage of that space. So let's take a look. Accurate passes, like Brighton topping the list. The best for us are our center backs or defense. Duels won again. Caicedo brilliant in this game. Chalobah won 6 out of 15 of his duels. And then you just see here, like, you really feel that Brighton wanted the ball more. Like Matoma, March winning the ball. And they were just pressuring us and pressing us in our half, and we really couldn't get out of our half. We really couldn't string together passes. And I just felt that they look like a super cohesive team. They look like they know exactly what they're doing. And yeah, that's kind of like my thoughts. It's it's hard. Jacob says, why didn't we play Alba? Why was Madueke not included? I do think Madueke should have been included, but like I don't know. For me, it's kind of what I said. Like, do we see Alba realistically staying at Chelsea past the end of the season? Probably not. So, like, if it were up to me, I would probably include like Madueke, for example, instead of him. And I think like the big thing is maybe we should have recruited a center forward in all of this time that that we bought all of these players, but we don't have a defensive midfielder. We don't have a center forward. We have Nkunku coming in. Then there's rumors that we're going to go for Joao Felix. I don't think that quite makes sense. I was really like hyped on him, and he came in and was doing all this stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, this, he's playing so good. Like, this makes loads of sense for us, blah, blah, blah. And then it just feels like he hasn't actually done much in terms of like goals and assists. And I think like if you're going to be spending 80 to 100 million on a player, you want to make sure that they're giving you goals and assists, and he hasn't been doing that. William says we're hitting a new low this season. I'm honestly scared, like, because like, let me just take a look at our fixtures that we have. So we have Real Madrid in the Champions League. At this point, I really feel like Real Madrid are going through. Like, they're 2-0 ahead. We aren't scoring goals. Like, anything can happen, I guess, but realistically, I think like Chelsea would need to score 2 to at least tie it and not concede. Like, it's a really tall order. We have a Man United game that has to be like put back into the fixture list at some point. Then Brentford, who are playing well. Arsenal, Bournemouth, who are going to be like fighting relegation. They always play well against us. Forest as well, the same. Like, they're not going to want to go down. Then Man City and Newcastle, like, really not easy fixtures for Chelsea coming up. And where are the points coming from? So at this point, I just want to watch the season, start the next one. And I think what Chelsea really need to do is just focus on like getting the coach in, who are going to be the key players, like who's staying, and play those players, and then who is leaving and try to offload them. But I do think that Chelsea are going to have quite a difficult time offloading players. And so I'm not sure like who we're going to be able to sell, but you need to trim the squad down. Like, the size of the squad is just mad. It's just so massive, and it makes it really chaotic, I imagine, to train and to coach. So you really need to just determine who's going to be your starting players and kind of be a bit brutal and get rid of the players who shouldn't be in the squad for next season. Andre says, it's a painful period that will eventually go through. We must stick together. However, that was very concerning. Why are we so comfortable not having the ball? No urgency, no heart or fight. Yeah, like, I really hope that Chelsea come out of this, and I think like trimming the squad is going to be a big part, kind of appointing a new manager, giving them time to build something. Like, you do have a lot of talented players, but it's a lot of talented individuals right now, and we really need somebody to bring all of the players together. And it just feels that they kind of like have given up, like as soon as even when we went ahead, like Brighton were still all over us, and I just felt like as soon as we conceded, it's like that was going to be it. And Brighton looked like going to get the winner, and they did. And it's really sad because you want to see your team fighting, and especially like with the amount of the games that you have coming forward. And at this point, like, we're definitely not finishing within top 4. even European spot, I think would be really difficult, but at least try to get like the highest finish possible. And I'm really nervous like that. I hope that that mentality doesn't seep into like a relegation battle because it's looking a bit scary at this point. Yeah, Gallagher was pretty good today. I always like have a soft spot for Conor Gallagher. I just feel like he's so determined and he's one of those players that like fights for Chelsea and fights for the badge and like he's always going to give 110% in the game and you see that. Jordan says we might need a high profile striker. Honestly, I don't even want like any high profile striker that we've gone for like has not worked out in the past. Like just bring me like somebody, like Julian Alvarez, for example, that like at least I wasn't familiar with him when Man City bought him. Then he's been playing fantastic for Man City whenever he's played for them, fantastic for Argentina. Like just somebody so there's like not so much pressure because I feel like there's always so much pressure whenever we sign like a high profile striker and spend a ton of money. Like I don't want that. Just give me somebody who can score goals. That's all I care about. Um, so yeah, it's a tough one, guys. It really really is, and it's a difficult season. I'm kind of just like waiting for summer at this point. I'm sad, but I'm hopeful that next season we can turn things around. Um, but okay, Ollie says, I just want us to play the kids for the rest of the season. It's a waste to use players this good in mid-table scrubs. We're not in Europe next year, so let's just give everyone a run of the team. At least with the youth, like that they're going to definitely give 110%. My only thing is like I wouldn't want to like I wouldn't want like any blame to go on them. Like like if we play poorly, I don't know how fans would react, but sure, like give them a run in the team because you know that they're going to go for it. And you think of like Chukwuemeka, like he hasn't been featuring at all. Like I would love to see him get some minutes personally, at least a couple sprinkled in there. Richie says I would start Mendy instead of Kepa. I don't know, like, I don't know what happened to Mendy. It's so strange because, like, when we won the Champions League, he was doing so good. And then he's just like, maybe it was like the defense as well. Like, we weren't conceding so many chances. I think truly, like, Rudiger has been such a bigger miss than we thought that he would be because we really haven't replaced him in that, like, left center back spot. And the mentality that he brought to the team and to the dressing room, I think that that has been super underrated. And I will say that's a problem from the previous regime. It's not a problem from the current one because it was basically on them to not renew his contract when they should have and then just let it, and then of course like it's that, and then we had like the whole thing that went on and the frozen assets and we couldn't negotiate, blah, blah, blah. But that was a really big mistake, in my opinion. How about you just stop watching my stream? Like, that's super fucking rude. Timo Karthik says Timo scored a brilliant goal for Leipzig today. Wish he was still here. He always played his heart out. Yeah, I miss Timo as well. Like he didn't score many goals, but I feel like what he brought to the team was super underrated, especially in the Champions League. I do think like with the Premier League, maybe the way that we played and like how tight the defenders get you didn't necessarily like suit his style, but in the Champions League, since he did have more open space, it was just amazing. Joe says, what did you think of Mudryk? I thought that he had a positive start to the game, like 10, 15 minutes, something like this. And then didn't see much of him. But I think that it's also because we just weren't attacking. So you have to take that into account. Like we just couldn't get out of our half. So what is he realistically meant to do when you have, like, when Brighton has off the ball and you can't get out of your own half. So that's basically my thoughts. Um, do you think a comeback against Madrid is plausible with Frank in charge? Um, I won't say like never say never, but I just felt like in the first leg they didn't even get out of second gear. Like it really just looked like they knew that they were just like waiting for their opportunity. They took it, and I think that they're one of the best teams in the world, especially in the Champions League. So I think it would be a very, 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 very hard ask. Thanks for defending me in the comments, guys. Appreciate it. I don't know why there's like still such sexist people out there, but whatever. So yeah, that's basically my thoughts. I'm gonna end it here because I don't really have much else to say. Um, I won't be able to stream after the Madrid game because I have to wake up at 5 a.m. on Wednesday, so I won't be able to do anything. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, I'll post a comment or something to let to hear your thoughts about the game. But hope that you guys don't let this ruin your weekend too much. I'm gonna go play with my dog. I'll talk to you later. Have a great rest of your day, evening, whatever time you're watching this. And until next time, I'm out. Bye.